What up? My name is Wondurs, and you're watching Cloudy Conversations.
What's going on, everybody? It's your girl, Big T. As you can see, we have another guest today, our friend, Wondurs. We thank you for sitting down and having a conversation with us.
Of course.
All right, so for the friends who might be new to you, tell them a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Wondurs. I was born in Harrisburg, grew up there for a little bit. Always loved music. It was always such a big thing for me. My mom put me on to so many generational artists, Lil Wayne, Kanye, Jay-Z, Drake. So I grew up on kind of more of the hip hop side, but I also do love Michael Jackson. I love Michael. I listen to Michael Jackson all the time. Just one of the absolute greats.
I would agree.
Yeah, I dabble in a lot of different music. I love rock. I listen to all types of different stuff.
So, what kind of kid were you growing up? Since you know your mom had you so versatile in music early, was that something that you loved early, or like you were into other things as a kid?
I was definitely I was very creative as a kid, very funny, but also very bad. I got when I was in elementary school, I got expelled in the 4th grade.
Oh man, what was you doing?
I brought a pocket knife to school because I used to walk to. I went to school around here because we moved over here when I was younger, and I had to walk like a few blocks. So my grandma gave me this pocket knife. It was like one of those what are they, Swiss Army knives?
Yeah, Swiss Army
with
knives.
all like the screwdriver on it.
So you had every little kid on there.
Yeah, so I was hyped, and then I showed the wrong person, and I got
they told,
expelled for
damn.
it. Yeah, but overall, nah, I was real creative. I was always just kind of doing my own thing. I was just I don't know. I don't know how to put it. I'll just say a creative kid.
Creative kid.
Yeah.
Was that creativity like in art? Did you paint, or like you literally just whatever came to mind, you was down to try anything?
Whatever came to mind, I was down to try anything. I never could draw or anything like that because I have horrible handwriting. I'm left-handed, so it doesn't really work out. But I always loved to try new things, and whatever I put my mind to when I was a kid, I usually just ended up doing it without hesitation, without much thought. Which I think that's something that's still
you carry
prevalent
around today.
Yeah, it's still very apparent with what I do now.
Now, what's one of your favorite memories from childhood?
There's a lot. I guess one of the things, and I just remembered this when I went to shoot my album cover, because we went back to my my childhood home. I used to play with, and this might sound silly, but we didn't have money. It was tight. So we had this bucket of coal, and I used to just like crack it open, just like throw these pieces of coal on the ground, and I thought they looked cool because they were like black. And I would sit outside in the backyard for like hours, just throwing coal on the ground, just playing with rocks.
Being a kid, pretty much.
Yeah, just being a kid, and I just, it entertained me, and it kept me entertained when we didn't really have much to do. Another thing, I used to feed ducks in Harrisburg with the end pieces of bread that no one eats.
Yeah.
I used to walk down to the pond and feed the ducks because we didn't have anything to do.
I did that a couple times with my grandma.
Yeah, so I mean, those are just a few like core memories I got just from my childhood.
Now, do you come from a big family? You have a lot of siblings? Like, paint us a picture of that.
I don't come from a huge family. I have a lot of family.
Okay.
But I have one full-blooded sibling, my older sister, and then I have 2 half-brothers on my dad's side.
Okay.
But growing up, it was really just my grandma, my grandpa, my great-grandmother. She was living with us because she had Alzheimer's, so someone had to take care of her. And then my mom and my sister. My dad, when I was younger, he was in and out of jail a lot, so I only really met him, like for real, I want to say a few years ago. But now recently he's doing good now. He's doing good for himself. So I talk to him every so often. I go and see him. But when I was younger, that wasn't something I had. So now I'm glad that I have a relationship with him. But when I was younger, I didn't know what that was like.
I'm gonna say, do you think that it affected you, or because you didn't necessarily have a example at an early age, it wasn't something that you noticed was missing?
It definitely affected me. Looking back on it, like in retrospect, I definitely see the effects of not having a father in my life. But at the time when I was younger,
It didn't matter.
yeah, I couldn't really, I didn't really know, I didn't have that example, so I didn't know what
To associate it with, for examples, to be like, oh, this is what it's supposed to be like.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Do you have any kids of yourself, or are you still, okay?
No, I got no kids.
You might have started early. You never know.
Yeah.
Do you want kids? Is a family something you aspire to, obtain and have one day?
Absolutely. I want kids bad. I want a son and a daughter. I don't know, something about just fatherhood. I think one of the things that really drives me to want to be a father is that I didn't have one. So I want to give my kids something that I didn't have, and I know that I could be, or I want to try and be good at it. You know what I mean? Because I know it's very important to have both parental figures in your life. Yeah.
Shit, the desire to want to be there and be better is like half of the battle, because it's hard being a parent, as we know, but if you want to do it, you will do it. So I think you'll be pretty good in that department.
Yeah.
Now, you did mention that you was bad as a kid and you got expelled in 4th grade, but was that like your overall school life? Did you do well? You just maybe had behavioral issues? Like, tell us how that went.
So growing up, when I was a little bit younger, I was the class clown.
Okay.
So there wasn't many like behavioral issues. It was just I was always trying to make everyone laugh and trying to be, even if I didn't want to be, I was always kind of the center of something. If it was attention, if it was drama, it was something. I was the center of it. But as I got into high school, I actually went to I went to CASA, which is an art school. I went there for theater actually. When I got there, it was cool. Like I wasn't.
You wasn't as turned up as you was before. It's not the same environment, kind of. Because theater kids ain't really trying to throw hands.
Yeah, because I went to school with Traps actually, so we went there together, and it was a small school. It's like a small charter, but when I got there, I wasn't I'm not the smartest kid ever. I'm not dumb, but I mean I can.
You hold your own.
Yeah, I can hold my own. But the only thing about me is I just don't test well. So I didn't get the best grades when I was there, but we graduated, so that's all that matters.
I finished there. Yeah. Okay. And college wasn't something that you felt you needed to do or was interested in?
Nah, I getting through high school or getting through standard
what they say we gotta do.
Yeah, getting through that was enough for me. I didn't want to go into college and throw myself in all that debt.
Because you didn't even know what you wanted to
I didn't even know what I wanted to do. I wasn't gonna go there for like business or something.
Yeah.
And plus on top of that, I wanted to work and just continue to make music and stuff. So yeah, college wasn't really ever on my radar.
Okay. Which is good to know early, because kind of now that I'm doing what I'm doing, it's like I don't think I would have went to school if I'd have just rearranged my thoughts a little bit and invested in myself rather than letting them trying to invest in me or take them loans out, I should say. Now you mentioned, earlier some of the artists your mom introduced you to, which kind of, influenced, I guess, your liking for music, but what made you actually want to start music?
I don't know. So the funny thing about it is when I started making music, 2024? Started making music like 7, 8 years ago at this point, I think.
Okay.
But I started out making it was like a joke. And so I think I was in 9th grade and I was like, yo, I should just make a song just cause. And I actually called myself Lil Nipple, actually. So yeah, so it was it was just like a big I was trolling pretty much. I recorded it on some app on my phone and a pair of Beats, And I was just making like stupid music. And then I stopped doing that. I got a little older, and I was like, I kind of want to take this seriously. Because growing up, my mom was showing me all these artists, and through that, I really liked Kanye. And then from there, it kind of ventured out into, okay, I like Travis Scott. I like all of Kanye's, because Kanye's at the top,
wise.
and then he has a whole
Umbrella of, like, category.
list.
Yeah.
He has a whole list of people that he's inspired or worked with, and through him, I found Travis Scott, and that I'll say is one of my biggest inspirations now for music. So when I found that, or when I found Travis Scott, I was like, yo, I want to make like serious music. So I changed my name. I was Lil Nipple starting off, and then it went from that to Chris with a $sign as the S, and then from there it went to Wondurs. And then from there, then the rest is just history. I just started kind of working on what I liked. And I mean, if you go back and listen to some of the old music I have on there, it's like a completely different person.
Sound.
You would like even my last project is just way different than the one I have out now. But I guess just kind of wanting to be taken seriously when making music is kind of what driven me to, it's what drove me to
take that there.
Yeah.
Now, once you decided to take it serious, do you remember what the first song was that you made?
Oh shoot. Oh man. What is that song?
One of the earlier songs that you made?
I think there's this song. It was called Purple or something like that. There's this EP that I have out on Apple Music. It was like the first EP I dropped. I think the EP was called Purple, but there's a song on there. I don't know. It's just. I think
that's like one of the first tracks.
Yeah, I remember I was in my room when I lived at home, and I made the album cover in my room and everything. I don't know. It's an old project, but I think that was the first project I officially like released as like a serious project.
And if you were to rate that now, compared to where you're at now, and you go back and listen to that first project, like what would you give yourself?
From what I remember, I'd actually give myself an 8 on that project because I was really trying different things with that. And even though I knew nothing I know now about what sounds good, what key to be in, music theory and things like that. For what I knew back then, I'd give it a pretty high score, just because I was staying like really true to myself and what I wanted to do. And I think even if it doesn't sound the best, it's pretty apparent that I was being authentic. So,
which is always the most important part of music.
Right.
So when you started, like, did you have any reference to like the studio process as well? Because that's like, I feel like another key component. Like first you learn how to rap, write it all, but it's a whole nother skill to be able to actually record that. So is that something you had to learn as well?
Yeah, so I always, and even to this day, I still record in my house.
Okay.
Because that's where I'm most comfortable. I always just record in my room. I have a whole setup. And I just find it way easier then because I get everything done right then and there. And again, that's just, for me, it's about comfortability. I can record in the studio. I have before.
But it's not your preference.
Yeah, it's not my preference, but I will because it is a cool experience just to be in the studio. But no, I started out using GarageBand or something like that.
It's free one.
GarageBand, and then from there I moved to FL, and then from FL I went to Logic.
Which this kind of leads into the next question, because I was going to ask, how involved are you in the creative process? Like, are you one of those people who I make the beat, I record myself, and I master it?
I don't make the beats.
Okay.
I buy my beats, but I know how to, I record myself. If I had plugins or enough plugins, I can mix and master. But I work very closely with Trap. So actually yesterday he was over my house and he just handed me his laptop and I just started working on a song. But I do know how to mix. I know how to use all these plugins and stuff, and play around with my voice and all that different type of stuff. But I kind of learned that through just playing around with the things that are the
Trial and
plugins
error,
and stuff.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, trial and error. But yeah.
So you recorded this last project, you recorded all of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So do you record everything and then send it off to be mastered, or do you be like, oh, now let me get this one done and then this one done?
So for that project, the one I just dropped, oh man, I can't remember when exactly like everything started coming together, because I know I've been working on this for
like
2 years.
Yeah.
And the idea was never the same throughout anything. Like the idea was always changing. But I really only started being satisfied with what I had, not like just like a few months ago.
Okay.
So typically I get one done and I send it over. But if I'm in that mode and I just, one of the days I was just recording from literally sundown, I'll send like 5 or 6 over, and have them back in like a week or so.
Okay, that's good productivity and turnaround time.
Yeah, normally I try to get up with Traps, because if he can be in the studio with me, he can also engineer for me, because he does a little bit of that too.
Okay, so it's like my question after this was kind of, you keep leading into the question, was like, who's your favorite person to work with or favorite people to work with? But it seems to be Traps. Like.
Definitely Traps. I remember one of my first memories with making music, started taking it seriously, was with him. We were on my grandmother's couch. We recorded this song called it's called Bars of Piss, actually, and we recorded it. It was on my phone. We couldn't use a headset because it wasn't working, so we had to like mute the volume and like speak into the mic, try and guess where we were on the track. Yeah.
I'm crying.
So I've been working. So like, yeah, I've known him since I was born. Like our families were close. So when I went to high school, he recognized me, but I recognized him because he lived over in Harrisburg. I lived here. But when I got to high school, he was like, "Yo," he asked me some question, I forget. He was like, "Are you Sharon's grandson?" I was like, "Yeah, Sharon's my grandmother." He was like, "Oh, I'm Booby," and I was like, "Oh," because Booby, Booby was his
name. I know who it is.
Booby was his childhood nickname. He's probably gonna get mad at me for saying that.
I would say exclusive content.
Yeah, but yeah, Traps is definitely the main person I work with closely on everything. And even if we're not making a song together, either I'm with him in the studio or he's with me in the studio, and we're just
creating that vibe.
Yeah, just sharing ideas and stuff like that.
Sure. Do you have a favorite Traps collab that y'all put out? Like,
oh man, we have this song out on my last project called, maybe not that one. We have a song called Red Light that I really like, that we did a music video for, and it was just a fucking fun time. It's just a really good song. We have a few songs out. One of our most popular ones is a song on his tape called Psilocybin, which is a really good song, but it's like old. Real old.
So it's older y'all probably could new to somebody else.
Yeah.
So definitely be sure to go check those tracks out.